Kia ora e te whānau, e hui hui maine, ko Nick tako ingoa. Good morning everyone and welcome to the Diversity Breakfast at this year's ReBuilding Nations. As Sarah mentioned, my name is Nick and I'm the current chair of Infrastructure New Zealand's Emerging Talent Network. I wanted to start by saying a huge thank you to Sarah and the team for bringing us together this year for ReBuilding Nations. The incredible amount of work that goes into pulling an event like this together does not go unnoticed, let alone having to try and do it 3 times in a year. I must also say it is a huge privilege to be invited to speak today amongst this morning's incredible lineup. I was on the phone to my grandma recently. Well, it was FaceTime, but she holds it up to her ear a lot. And I mentioned that I was a little bit nervous about speaking today alongside ministers, thought leaders, and some of the brightest minds in our industry. I told her that even the Prime Minister might be dropping by, and I asked her what she thought I should say. She kindly offered me 2 pieces of advice as to why I didn't need to be nervous. 1, it's 7:30 in the morning and nobody's awake yet. And 2, she said that with all of the uncertainty at the moment that we're currently faced with, people are spending a lot of time thinking about their future and the world that their children are set to inherit. Now, more than ever, there is a desire, she said, to hear from the younger generation on their vision for the future and how they believe this will be achieved. I couldn't help but think that she might be right, at least on the second part. So I wanted to share a bit today about my view on why the voice of the next generation is so critically important for infrastructure here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and how I see that particularly emphasised in terms of future-proofing the industry, representing our communities, and paving the way for the next generation of leaders after us. In 2020, over 50% of the world's population are under 25 years old, and you've only got to look back to last year's climate strikes to see the incredible lengths that young people are willing to go to stand up for the future that they believe in. In the current context, we will hear a lot today about the massive wave of infrastructure projects coming down the pipeline here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and the critical role that these projects are going to play in our post-COVID economic recovery. Now, while this is all incredibly exciting, I can't help but think that it is only the beginning. There will come a time when all of these projects are built, and I believe we need to be thinking now about how we can future-proof not only the industry, but the labour market and this pipeline, so that when our future generations inherit the financial commitment that we're making as a country, they're well prepared to navigate those challenges. In my mind, this all starts with leadership. Infrastructure New Zealand and the Emerging Talent Network play an important role in developing New Zealand's next generation of industry leaders. By fostering the growth of young professionals through learning, networking, and professional development opportunities, we will continue to work alongside government and industry to grow the next business leaders and ministers to take us forward. Secondly, if we are truly serious about building infrastructure that meets the needs of our communities, I believe that we need to represent those communities better through the decision-making process. The younger generation must have a seat at the table in order to shed light on the major challenges that they anticipate going forward. Only then can they truly share their vision for the future and how they see infrastructure promoting not only financial, but better cultural, social, and environmental outcomes for our communities. Last year, the Emerging Talent Network hosted an interactive workshop looking specifically at the broader impacts of major infrastructure projects. And this year, we've launched our inaugural essay competition, asking our network how they thought New Zealand can build back better. These are 2 initiatives that we're really excited about on the journey of promoting the voices within our network into that wider sector conversation. Finally, I believe it is critical that we look even further into the future and continue to pave the way for those who will come after us. We should be striving to attract the best and brightest young minds right out of high school into a career in infrastructure. And what better way to do so than by showing them that their voices matter and will be heard as we endeavour to build a prosperous future for New Zealand. The age-old adage will be familiar to many in this room, and often it is said that you can't be what you can't see. By showcasing the thinking and the voice of the industry's current young professionals, we will continue to find new ways to encourage those in the future to strive towards a career that can literally shape the world around them. We're standing in front of one of the most challenging but exciting chapters in New Zealand's infrastructure in New Zealand's infrastructure history, and many of us in this room will play a critical part in ensuring that we are not only able to meet this challenge, but we are able to build a platform for Kiwi communities to thrive long into the future. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou. Thanks.